I had not anticipated returning for a third session in the same day, yet I reckon the beauty of the dawn called me. Besides, I've got an upcoming winter storm, or what qualifies for it in South Carolina. It's possible I may lose power. Might be nice to have a greater cliffhanger to ponder, or not even a cliffhanger so much as a different situation or environment in Thousand-Year-Old Vampire. And so, I have returned. While doing food prep, I came up with the memory. I curse my forgetfulness as I dive into the beach alcove just before sunrise, yet I spend the day mesmerized by the beautiful shore. An additional memory slot dedicated to beauty, nature, or peace. We can imagine the horrid boogeyman that is Clovis, developing a reputation, like the Pendleton Manor home, developing more of a reputation of like respect through fear. An occasional disappearance, not just among the settlers, local tribes as well. Animals too. Grisly bodies found, bereft of flesh and sinew. Not just exsanguinated. Bones. A chilling predator which stalks the land. Yet one of many perils in the New World, doubtlessly. One of a smorgasbord of reasons why settlements fail here. So he's out on like a hunt, and loses track of time. Hasn't been something he's done for a long time. He's getting lost in the feral and predatory nature of it. You know, it's hampering his memory. Which, by the way, I did consider like a potential experience for describing this. And it just seems so uninteresting. And if I made it, I would plug it into 5 if I did make one. Considering that it's asking me to like forget something, I don't know, it just doesn't seem appropriate. So I had to let it go. Much like the experience got let go. So yeah, Clovis loses track of time, realizes sunrise is coming, running there on the coastline, finds an alcove where he can like hug the wall and narrowly avoid the sun's rays. Would expect to be just frozen in near paralysis the entire day, yet he is enraptured and captivated by what he sees within the light. Rather than envy, which he felt for a time when he turned and, you know, among many other things, there's just a quiescence. The hunger that had been consuming him since he woke up in Rome fades that day. And at night he returns back to his manor. Servants are baffled. Like, what the fuck? Like, where were you? You alright? Yes. Okay, very good. Welcome back, master. Yeah. We'll see whether anything comes of that. I guess, beyond just having a 6th memory slot dedicated to beauty, nature, or peace. Whether I find anything else to string together to create a wondrous memory before it's gutted from me from another prompt. Gutted from me by another prompt, I should say. Thousand-Year-Old Vampire. Game about loss. That said, I don't know whether Clovis is an anomaly. I also don't know when the hammer's dropping on his ass. Let's roll to find out, shall we? A -2. We're going to 58. Doot, doot, 58. Society has changed. How has travel become easier for you? Recover any stationary resources for which you still have a memory. They are re-added to your resource list. This is a neutral. Like, we don't have any stationary resources. So, okay. We don't lose anything. There's that. We gain nothing, we lose nothing. Alright, how has travel become easier for you? I gotta write a fucking experience about this. What a pain in the ass. I mean, I know the answer. Advancements in boat tech. I just don't know how to interweave into this fucking story. By now, based on the prompts we've had since moving over, I figure it's close to 1700, if not that. I think I'm just gonna forget Memory 5. Yeah. Just go ahead and chuck it into the abyss. It is a thing which has happened recent. A thing which we could combine other content with, but just doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Much like I don't think this experience is going to matter. Maybe Clovis briefly returns to his homeland. It's about stationary resources, but there's nothing for him there. The power of modern sailcraft. I return to the estate of Lord Edmund Grey, 1st Earl of Kent. But I already know there is nothing for me there. Through modern sailcraft, via modern sailcraft, we'll just say Clovis writes through. I return to Lord Edmund Grey's estate. I return to what was once. Through modern sailcraft, I return to what was Lord Edmund Grey's estate. Yet I already know. But I already know. But I already knew. Yet there is nothing there. There's nothing. Sure. Society has changed. How has travel become easier for you? Recover any stationary resources. So, boats. Fancy. Better tech. They traverse easier. Designs have changed in the 250 years since Clovis was born. How about that? Science! I don't know what the fuck else to do with this problem. This doesn't, like... This is a circumstance where if I had lost any stationary resources, and I still remember them, then yippee! As it stands, I've ended up booting out something that I cared more for just to plug in this experience. Joy. Maybe what was once Lord Edmund Grey's estate? I'll probably end up changing my mind over the course of this session. Let's just fucking roll. Let that be something we ponder in the background. 5 minus 6. We go back 1. 58 to 57. Your knowledge of old things becomes a strength. Based on a checked skill, what knowledge do you share with contemporary mortals? Excuse me, let me reveal the book. Check a skill, create a resource. Okay. Cool. Let's pull up our character sheet and plug in 57 and the text for that. Alright. So the thing which readily comes to mind is Clovis's checked skilled apothecary skill. He's got knowledge from the 1400s and the 1500s, which, as we're heading to the 1700s, particularly these settlers here, coastal Carolina, just don't know. And combining that old school knowledge with the reagents available, both imported from the old world and available in the new world. I think the skill I am going to check here as part of this is finally, after all of these prompts, trained physician. It makes the most sense to me. No. Do that. Please. Cool. And I'll just shift these all up one. And we'll just forget about how gross that is. Great. And I'll leave trained physician in this order, though we know the skill very much came first. This is where it ends up in our checked list. As for... where I'm gonna put this, let's just go ahead and take this memory and forget about it. Fuck it, it's irrelevant. Clovis is a feral beast. He was curious he had not set foot in England for so long. He just wanted to be there. Yeah. You know, maybe getting back to see, like, if there's a spark of something or anything, and just nothing fits him. Then he gets back on a boat, conveniently travels back to Charlestown. Alright. Your knowledge of old things becomes a strength based on a check skill. What knowledge do you share with contemporary mortals? Check a skill. Create a resource. What's a resource? The other essential herbs and spices? Mortar and pestle? Something that fits in with trained physician that he's checking. Something that ties in with his old school knowledge of being an alchemist and now a physician, and a suitable reward for that contemporary mortals that he could earn from them, that could be bestowed upon him from them. Political favor doesn't make sense. A parish, as powerful and prominent as they would be in Charlestown for political influence, doesn't make sense. Perhaps him sharing this knowledge saves someone important's life. Ah, fuck. Why? Why is this something that I am choosing now to... Why am I doing this to myself? Let me think about fucking, like, prominent figures during this time. You're in Charlestown. It'd be cool if I could think of someone... Catholic. Instead of someone Protestant. Based on... Clovis's proclivities. The problem is that, well... Despite the religious tolerance, it's just... No one Catholic, who exists is coming to mind. So, historically at this time, with let's just say we've breached 1700, there's been a smallpox outbreak that hit, and I think the earthquake hit by then too. Yeah. So this would be a great tie-in to, like, being a skilled apothecary and trained physician. This makes perfect sense for this region and this time. And, we'll just say that... I still gotta think of the fucking resource. It should be some display of wealth. Like, some sort of, like, finery. Perhaps something issued from the... Don't mind me. I gotta look up something here. When did John Locke die? Okay, John Locke died in 1704. Cool. John Locke is important that because of John Locke's John Locke had its historical importance with developing the province of Carolina. Not just like his prominent positions on like the Board of Trade and the Council of Trade and Plantations. He also had his grand model for not just like in a whole economy thing, but slavery. And Locke was a source of inspiration for the founding fathers and the documents which, like, formalized the United States of America. For better and worse. Let me see here. Every free man of Carolina shall have absolute power and authority over his Negro slaves. Of course, his, like, importance in all this, like, how much of an impact he had upon South Carolina and the Founding Fathers as a whole, is the theater of historians to argue about, which I am not. Despite my history background, I am most decidedly not that. My research days are behind me. I'm gonna go ahead and, just for the sake of not overthinking this prompt, so that I can move on. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Notarized letter of recommendation from John Locke. That's the resource. Due to the great boon Mr. Pendleton provided with his timely assistance and incredible skill. As for how I want to structure this, let me just go ahead and look up when that earthquake was. Do 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 do. Please hold. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay. $16.98, huh? A few weeks. Okay, so right, the fire that was there too after the earthquake, like partly sparked by the earthquake. Oh fuck, right, there's the hurricane that hits too in 1700. Forgot about that. Yeah, that seems pretty bad, huh? The onslaught of natural disasters, the onslaught of inclement weather, the onslaught of disasters striking Charlestown has the people desperate for aid. And I utilize my considerable experience with mendicants and physiology to garner recognition from John Locke himself. Yeah, okay. That's sufficient enough. Don't want to spend too much time dwelling on this prompt. That's, like, when I say that, that's more of like a me thing. The book also stresses not to overthink prompts. I want to keep myself moving. instead of bogging down on any particular prompt, though I certainly have bogged down on several. Just make some choices, notarize letter of recommendation. We'll see whether that results in anything. I want to have the letter of recommendation there so that, you know, he's gonna die soon, yeah? I don't think he's, at this time, like so late in his life, holding a position of prominence and importance in Carolina, the province of, before it's separated into North. It's don't worry about it. But that's irrelevant. I mean, this is a fucking history where vampires exist, right? You mean they don't exist in real life? Are you sure? That's what they want us to believe. Three minus 6. We go back 3. 57 turns into... Just want to make sure I'm doing the math correctly and reading the dice correctly. That's 54. So, flip back to the book here. 54. Your strange accent and old ways always reveal you as an outsider. Mocked and cheated at best, or hated at worst. Smother these useless traits by converting an old memory to a new skill for blending in. Well, that doesn't make much damn sense, huh? At least not with the narrative that's been built by the prompts and, like, my storytelling thus far. Let's try to roll with it. I guess. 54. Well, why the fuck this would happen after these good things Clovis has done? Perhaps this is just something he ends up feeling due to, like, his embarrassment over what happened in Rome. Despite that it's 40 years ago at this point, he hasn't let it go. He has that in the diary. Convert an old memory to a new skill. So, converting sounds like we're chucking the memory out. Because when you convert something, you're transmuting it. You're turning one thing into another. We're not using the memory as, like, basis of inspiration. That's also happening, too. So I guess we are, but in addition, like, it's being expended to create this skill. Alright. Smother these useless traits of our strange accent and old ways, so we are no longer revealed as an outsider, so that we properly blend in. An old memory, huh? I'm looking at one. I mean, what the fuck else do I have in a memory that's old, right? 2? It's like it's broken apart, right? And that doesn't best fit the strange accent and old ways. 3? It's not that old. 4? It's not that old. 5? Just made it. 6? Not that old. So, memories can maybe marked with a D for diary. Out of curiosity, on a fucking lark, before I just completely dissolve my fucking origin story. Let me go up here to check on things, whether they can be chucked out of the damn diary and, like, count as Memory placed in the diary is no longer in the vampire's head, it exists only in the diary, and the vampire exists whatever is written as truth. Once a memory has been transferred to a diary, you may not add any further experiences to that memory. To move a memory to your diary, simply indicate that the memory is now written in the diary. Diary can hold up to 4 of your vampire's memories. Unlike memories themselves, diaries are physical objects that are added to your resource list. You may freely create a diary whenever you need to move a memory into it. Like any other resource, a diary can be lost. When this happens, strike out the memories it held. Your vampire can have 1 diary at a time, and it must contain at least 1 memory. So the game's not telling me I can't utilize a memory in the diary for this. Because I certainly do have some old memories in my diary for this. But 1 is the most fitting. Let's read the prompt again. Your strange accent and old ways always reveal you as an outsider, mocked and cheated at best or hated at worst. Smother these useless traits by converting an old memory to a new skill for blending in. I think I'm more put off by how this has sabotaged, like, the previous prompt. Like, just how much it clashes with that. I'm trying to switch gears in my brain, and it's not going well. Like, he hasn't been mocked. He hasn't been cheated. At best, no, people respect and fear him, particularly after the assistance he provided with the last prompt. How about it, Grim? Do you want to yeet the prompt? No, let's not yeet the prompt. Let's work this out. Let's try to twist this fucking story to I can't gently massage this prompt enough. It's just gonna have to the story's just gonna veer hard. Do I have to smother the useless traits? Is this an imperative or giving me permission to? It doesn't, it's not saying a you may, Grimith. That looks like an imperative to me. Is this what I want to spend the weekend with no power thinking about? I mean, the fact that it's a new skill as well is great. I have 8 I haven't used, right? Just fucking like What the fuck am I supposed to, like, turn this to? Incognito? I don't want to use inconspicuous, because that's specifically called out in prompt 46. What am I more bothered by? Expending memory 1? Like, the very core essence of Clovis's identity? Or the prompt just about facing the story, like, directly clashing with what I just built from the story in the last prompt? What I would do if I was Dungeon Master and I was rolling like on a random table and I got an incongruous result based on really what the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition books encourage for me. It's the Thieves Guide comes to mind as, alright, well if it doesn't fucking make sense, you could just say fuck it, re-roll again, or you could spend some time with it, massage it, and see whether you could get it to make sense. But that's not what Thousand Year Old Vampire is like about. And I can't massage this prompt. there's no amount of massage here. I can't. If you mean like senselessly beat it. He would have to go somewhere else. Why the fuck would he even care about what these people think about him anyway? He'll just eat them. He did that in Rome. Man, I really am a hard time. I'm just... Yeah, I would have rather had a prompt that just sets this shit on fire, or like has me lose a memory slot straight up, and that be the reason I just can't fucking... So I go back to, it's not what's happening and it's in his head, but man, I have what, spent 12 fucking minutes on this? Don't overthink the prompts. Grimith like flips back through the fucking book. Alright. Answering prompts. Show the book here. Shaded though it is. Answer prompts in a way that feels natural. Never force things. If relationships between existing traits or past events relate to a prompt, work them in. You do not need to answer every question in the prompt. Prompts will often combine to tell stories. Cede control to the game. You should not try to tie everything together. It's not necessary. Your vampire will live for 1,000 years. Good fucking joke. And many small unresolved events will occur during their existence. Yeah. Prompts are sparks for creativity and connection. Feel free to gently reinterpret answers to earlier prompts to make better sense of current situations. See, control the fucking game. Overthinking is unhelpful. Not every prompt needs to be important. You do not need to explain every decision you make while answering a prompt. Be uncomfortable. Your protagonist is a vampire even if you try to keep them decent and humane. Terrible and delicious things are going to happen. You should have moments of discomfort as prompts combined with constrained resources result in your vampire murdering loved ones performing strange deeds. This is the strength of the game, so let darkness fall away. That's not the problem here. So... how do I reinterpret my answer to last prompt? Great. We'll just spend the extra time doing this. Gonna flip through the book here some more. Every time you answer a prompt, you must create an experience and add it to a memory unless instructed otherwise. Yeah. I guess, perhaps that's my first true violation of the rules. Okay. Your vampire is allowed 5 memories. Older memories are lost when new experiences occur, and you have no place to put them. If you have filled all 5 memories and need to start a new one, strike out an existing memory and all the experiences it contains. Forgetting things is a fundamental aspect of the game, so embrace it. Decision about which memories are lost belongs to you as the player. It's not a decision the vampire is consciously making. Unless instructed otherwise, you may strike out any memory you like to make room for a new experience. Okay. Let's try this thought, Grimith. What if we compromise on this one? What if converting is not going to be actually expending, like, the memory, and you still have it? That doesn't sound right given the disparaging nature of our imperative sentence. Because the prompt is saying, this shit's useless. Okay. Would you feel better, Grimith, if you just gave yourself one of the memories of the diary? Just rip the page out of the diary. It's still a memory, so it's still gone. You don't remember it anymore, but it's there in the diary and you accept everything in the diary as truth. So you're smothering the truth of that. Would that help you compromise enough so that you could move on from this prompt and go on to a different prompt? The problem is that they are memories, but they're also not in his head, Clovis's head. And so while I think I am operating in the bounds of legality, also feel a little strange. The other problem I have is that one makes the most fucking sense for it. Your strange accident old ways always reveal you to be an outsider, mocked and cheated at best or hated at worst. Smother these useless traits by converting an old memory to a new skill for blending it. Like, it also just entirely changes the tenor of... Yeah, it really just, like, runs like... Like, it would be easier if he was uncovered as a monster. Like, you've been exposed. I could be like, okay, I can roll with that. Grimith, you have spent fucking... what, close to 20 minutes? Just running in circles over this prompt without, like, actually, like, devising a skill. Well, the skill is just called incognito. The end. Oh, it's the new experience that you would slap into a memory slot, which presumably is going to be the one you vacate. No, I could plug it into 5. Alright, let's hard write. So the oldest memory now is the incomplete one involving Clovis's exile. Gone, converted because it's useless. His background and heritage are now useless. I'm Clovis Ravenor, an English physician and alchemist residing in the court of Lord Edmund Grey, Earl of Kent. After the third Earl sells his land, I move to London, and my Catholic upbringing nearly gets me lynched by furious Protestants. I narrowly escaped the pub through the help of a thug and roustabout named Bert Smith. When allies of Elizabeth Tudor, vile Protestants, a lot of them, expose my murder of her half-brother, I flee to Rome and assume the name Gabriel Strauss. Clovis no longer remembers a time he was human. He has completely forgotten that he was an English physician and alchemist residing in the court of Lord Edmund Grey, Earl of Kent. And, you know, he forgot that very quickly, that he forgot that he just, like, returned there. So, given he was to his feral nature. He forgot that after the third Earl of Kent sold his land, that he moved to London, where he nearly got killed by Protestants. And he forgot that the circumstances behind why he fled London and moved to Rome. What's in his diary now? Okay. He can refresh himself on how he crushed Edward VI. He can refresh himself on the thing that should not be. And he can refresh himself that he was in London, and then he got to Rome, and then he fell asleep for a century, and then he woke up, and after getting upset by his clumsy attempts at socialization, I just started eating people. So what do we have here in the memories? Samara bit, his flight from Rome to Istanbul, and that memory reinforces that he's once more Clovis Ravenor, which means there was a time that he was, before that Clovis Ravenor, an English physician and alchemist now residing in Istanbul instead of the place Clovis Ravenor was before. And then he went to Charlestown. He knows about the natives, and how he enthralls Samara. He knows about the onslaught of disasters and how he helped people, and he knows about the beautiful shore. This experience, as I am converting rather than forgetting, the experience that I'm typing here should include a distillation of the memory. Tinged with bitterness. Because it's not, I'm not setting the memory on fire. There is a conversion there. We're transforming that. And there certainly will be bitterness laced into whatever single evocative sentence I fucking concoct. Alright. Yet there are humans who resent my efforts, who dare not appreciate the goodwill I show them, despite their inferiority. And so I sever myself entirely from their well-being. For the Clovis Ravenor I once was, the compassionate soul who endeavored to aid all, yet there are still humans who resent me. Here, who resent me, who dare to reject the goodwill, my goodwill, despite their inferiority. And so I sever myself from their well-being. For the Clovis, for even the Clovis Ravenor, for even the compassionate Clovis Ravenor I once was, would be disgusted by them. Would be disgusted by them. Would wish to see them rot and suffer. There's your fucking single sentence. And I will bury Clovis. And I bury Clovis now. To embrace the monster. The predator. These wretches deserve. Predator in plain sight. There. The onslaught of disasters striking Charlestown as the people desperate for aid. The onslaught has the people. Prepositional phrase, the onslaught has. And I utilize my considerable experience with medicant and physiology to garner recognition with medicants. Physiology to garner recognition from John Locke himself. Yet there are still humans here who resent me, who dare to reject my goodwill despite their inferiority. And so I sever myself from their well-being, for even the compassionate Clovis Ravenor I once was would be disgusted by them, would wish to see them rot and suffer, and I bury Clovis now to embrace the predator these wretches deserve. Okay. It took me a long while. But we got there, huh? 7 stages of grief. Whole lot of bargaining there. Yeah, I can work with that. It's not striking out. It's not forgetting. It's not erasing. It's converting. If these motherfuckers won't just reject our protagonist, wink, at every opportunity, then fine. Fuck them. A single sentence. Stretchy though it may be. It's his diary, or his memories. He can structure them with whatever sentence fragments he wants. Go fuck yourself. I should also turn on the dice cam, yeah? Yeah, you got it, boss. 10 minus 4. We are shooting ahead 6. That takes us to 60. How about that? Okay. Source book. 60? Check a skill to avoid arrest as a criminal. What happened? Who is arrested in your place? Create a mortal character, if necessary. Okay. Let's avoid being arrested as a criminal, huh? And let's look at our skills. So, we were going to be arrested as a criminal, except we have this skill. We've got a number of different options here. Streetwise, we've got the wordless fear. We've got Predator in Plain Sight, which we just picked up. Let's go ahead and make that a part of just who I'm gonna keep referring to him as Clovis, but I shouldn't. Clovis is buried now. I'm going to try to keep stressing in my head, despite its extra wordiness, Mr. Pendleton. Though the series will remain titled what it is, and this document, Call Me Clovis, will probably still remain titled what it is. Let's check Predator in Plain Sight. Makes the most sense of my available skills. Check a skill to avoid arrest as a criminal. What happened? Who was arrested in your place? Create a mortal character if necessary. I guess I gotta create a mortal character. No, I don't. We got a mortal character here. She's older now. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Decades later, let's take this text and move that down here so I can use that for crafting my answer. Here. Samara is a willing puppet. And so when the police naturally suspect me for my natural predations, she volunteers herself as the culprit and dies to ensure my safety, my security, my freedom. Dies to protect me, as she should, naturally. Decades later, Samara, the willing puppet, that volunteers herself Samara volunteers herself as the culprit for my natural predations and dies to protect me, naturally. There we go. Truncated that sentence. Resolves the prompt quickly. And finishes this memory. Had to review memory 4 there. Yep, that's still only 2 experiences. I purchased natives from a local tribe to supplement my servant pool, and I'm delighted by how they fear my hunger. I'm so infamous that the Kusabo tribe attacks my manor outside Charlestown to free the captives and slay me. I enthrall the most impressive one, and rename her after my sire, Samara. Decades later, the willing puppet, Samara, volunteers herself as the culprit for my natural predations. For my natural activities. And so I may remain the unsuspected predator these wretches deserve. Yeah. Anyway, she's fucking dead now. The price for this, oh, damn, gone. I mean, you know, when you think about it, it's like, yeah, oh, damn it, Grimith, you did that again, huh? You can do this, buddy. Click on it, and then move. Very good. Like she was gonna get a fucking lease at life. Mr. Pendleton's the one that, they send criminals to. And it's not like this irrelevant person had any significant rights. Frankly, it's remarkable that, Clovis, wasn't fined at all, other than losing, his property. Yeah? Yeah. Predator in plain sight. That these wretches deserve. Ah, no! Illegal! Yep. 4 minus 4. 0. Let's go ahead and move the speaker so that you can see the 4, yeah? Alright, we remain on 60. Create an innocent mortal character. They were executed for a crime you committed. What hobby were you tinkering with? The night they were put to death. Take the skill. It's none of my concern. Oh, we are back to storytelling now, my friends. Whew. I will take that skill. Another one. It looks fucking dumb. Put like that, but it's none of my concern, right? I would capitalize the M and Y in my, but the M in mine, but I see why it's not. It's none of my concern. Okay. Create an innocent mortal character. They were executed for a crime you committed. What hobby were you tinkering with the night they were put to death? Take the skill. It's none of my concern. We'll say... We'll just go ahead and put this fucker at the bottom. Because they're promptly dying. I'll come up with some, like, cool and befitting, like, appropriate title here. That was an opportunity for me to punt this off the future, Grimith, but I think I can come up with none now. Yeah. Okay. Reverend. Let's just throw out some fucking name. Joseph, Thomas, John, Theodore. Theodore Cookson with an E of St. Philip's Church. We can actually type that though. And then we should also put in here sacrificed herself to protect me. Let's look at the prompt again. Let me think about my check skills. A predator in plain sight, after all. Falsely blamed for the man I dismembered and executed. Man I dismembered and devoured. in Charlestown. That's a lengthy sentence fragment, but he's fucking dead anyway. For my crime. For my... It's not a crime. My correct choices. The onslaught of disaster striking Charlestown has the people desperate for aid, and I utilized my considerable experience with medicants and physiology to garner recognition from John Locke himself. Yet there are still humans here who resent me, who dare to reject my goodwill despite their inferiority. And so I sever myself from their well-being, for even the compassionate Clovis Ravenor I once was would be disgusted by them, would wish to see them rot and suffer, and I bury Clovis now to embrace the predator these wretches deserve. I want to use the through thing. Shortly thereafter, I frame the asinine detractor, Reverend Hookson, for a murder. And I watch him... Oh, jeez. Hang. Like the wretch he is. Like... And I watch him hang. I later devour his corpse. And I watch him hang. I later devour his corpse. And relish him. I later relish. I relish devouring his corpse. Cool. Cool. Yeah, that tells a story. Yeah, Mr. Pendleton isn't fucking better. Good. 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 We're gaming now, folks. What are you on Clovis's side, Grimith? Excuse you, that's Mr. Pendleton's side. Oh, jeez. Is that everything the prompt requires? Create an innocent mortal character. They were executed for a crime you committed. What hobby were you tinkering with the night they were put to death? Take the skill, it's none of my concern. Oh, you know, just, good old-fashioned being a predator in plain sight, no big deal. It's like we're playing a game of Mafia. Yeah, Mafia. It's what these wretches deserve. I think I got it in me for one more. Perhaps a cliffhanger. If this prompt doesn't give us a natural, like a prompted move out of Charlestown, I'd have to just consider doing that in the flow of the role play. Been there 40, 50 years by this point. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Okie dokie. Well. Okay. We remain... Is this the second time we've gotten 3 in a row? Yep. Okie dokie. What hell thing is waiting for us here? An entire class of people are blamed for crimes you committed. Take the skill, always have a scapegoat who suffers in your place. Create a friendly character who represents these people and is ignorant of your complicity. Create another character who's in a position of authority. They know these people and are innocent but do not care. Wow, we're really committing to this, huh? Okay. Alright. Oh, yeah. Sure. Why not? I guess I'm... Well, listen, Clovis is getting... Excuse me, Mr. Pendleton is getting really old here. Could move on, you know, and out throughout the colonies. But I have to change the name, though. I have to rebrand our boy. From Mr. Pendleton to something else. Though the letter he got from John Locke wouldn't be so useful if he had a different name. Though how useful could it really be, since everyone thought he was, you know, everyone like mocked him, cheated him, hated him. An entire class of people are blamed for crimes you committed. Take the skill always have a scapegoat. Who suffers in your place? Create a friendly character who represents these people and is ignorant of your complicity. Create another character who is in a position of authority. They know these people are innocent but do not care. Who suffers in your place? Indigenous populations. Friendly character represents these people and is ignorant of your complicity? I don't know. Got to think about that one, I guess. Another character who's in a position of authority. They know these people are innocent but do not care. Probably someone overseeing a parish. Someone prominent. Has authority and power over folks. Yeah, I don't see it being a religious group. Clovis is bearing that, you know. It's useless. Mr. Pendleton is bearing. It's useless. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make the switch. Clovis is just easier anyway to say. I do like the name, that's why I picked it. It's not really a cliffhanger I'm leaving myself on, though. It's not like... I guess if there's a cliffhanger, it's that... This character's gotta relocate. Anyway, we've got a new skill now. Let's go ahead and pick that up. I have so many fucking skills, what the fuck? I made a separate column for skills I had checked. And then a third column for skills I lost. And I have, once again, just... so many fucking skills! I have 10 unchecked skills. What the fuck? Oh, man. Those checked ones, too. Skilled apothecary, a devil's footsteps, callous evaluator of life, the director, occupier, trained physician, finally, predator in plain sight. And our unchecked ones: forbidden lore, efficient slaker, streetwise, immortal physiologist, all flesh must be eaten. It's not something that we've done to solve a problem, but it's something we could do to solve a problem. We haven't been tested on it. It hasn't been a life ethos Mr. Pendleton is truly committed to. Just dabbles in it, you know. The reluctantly skilled merchant, the wordless fear, wild hunter, it's none of my concern. Always have a scapegoat. Yeah, the population that makes the most sense here, based on prior relations and affiliations, we're gonna say Native Americans. A friendly character who represents these people and is ignorant of your complicity, like a spokesperson or diplomat of some kind, who represents, Would I still want it to be the Kusabo? They wouldn't be friendly, then that wouldn't make sense. Perhaps it could be the person from the settlement of Charlestown. You know, representing the province of Carolina. And dealings with the indigenous populations, who is friendly with Mr. Pendleton and is entirely ignorant of the complicity. And there's someone else who knows there's no way these motherfuckers could have done this, but what the hell? They don't matter. Yeah. The entire class of people are blamed for crimes you committed. Out here on these streets murder hoboing. Oh no, it's raids. We've gotta get the Kusabo. Yeah! We gotta get them. Totally not, you know, still thinking about that time they raided his manor home. No, we haven't kept that one bottled up. No, they're go Alliance? No, not in this reality, my friends. Yeah. This is a new memory. Yep. It's a new memory. 3 is full. And 4 is full. My natural predations to punish the wretches are blamed on the Kusabo. And there's nothing the tribe can do. And there's nothing the tribe can do about it. And no one who knows they're innocent really cares. Ha. My natural predations to punish the wretches of Charlestown are blamed on the Kusabo. Naturally. And no one who knows no one suspects me. Naturally. And no one who knows the Kusabo are innocent. Cares for their plight. Naturally. Okay. 2 mortal characters. I can just sprinkle those in at some point. I doubt they're gonna matter. Yeah, I'll just color those in at some point, put them on the character sheet before next session. That's the end. Well, this session sure went places, huh, after the Beauty of the Dawn. I traveled back to England, but there was nothing waiting for Clovis there. In the face of, like, the varying disasters striking Charlestown, Clovis sought to aid the local population. After all, he feeds off them, and it seemed like a way to build goodwill. And yet, like those in Rome, these fucking assholes, after everything he has given them, After the sacrifices he's made over the decades to deign to suffer alongside them in this new world, they had the temerity to reject him. So fine. Sure. The compassion, it's buried alongside Clovis Ravenor. And you all will get what's coming to you. And apparently, the dice decided, yeah, let's go with that. And so we went with that. Again, like a three-peat. So any 60s we get in the future will just flop over to 61. I hope in my tired state that I actually did all the dice shuffling correct. That there was no, like, math error there. I'm sure I'll be told in the comments. I'm out, though. Next time, like I said, I'll have mortal characters penciled in. We'll see if they're relevant. I'll see about maybe relocating Mr. Pendleton from Charlestown, or coming up with some other guise or ruse of some kind. He is a man of considerable means, though he certainly has less wealth than he once did. This could have, like, man. With 52 there was just like a, maybe the monster, like, he turns, and if you believe in redemption, even after the sort of things he's done, there's a route there, right? And then we just veer straight off that. Just soaked in vitriol. He's the wolf in sheep's clothing. The monster. The villain. What perfection. What precision. Oh, boy. Take care, everyone.